They said it's show time. Welcome back. What is today's date? February 1st. It is the first day of, I guess, the shortest month of the year, February, Black History Month. And I have a number of kind of family members' birthdays on this day. So February is going to be a good month. But again, we are already past the first year of 2026. Hopefully, you guys are having a accomplishing those what they call them, the New Year's resolutions. But we have a lot to get off into today on the show. We're talking about, what are we talking about here? Impeccable Chicken. That interview came out. I was able to interview the founder, one of the co-founders, when I was out in Newport Beach, California, a couple weeks ago. So we'll play a little bit of that. We had Big Peach Car Wash. You know, if it's a car wash called Big Peach, it's probably in Atlanta or Georgia. So Big Peach Car Wash, it seems like they had to change their name. Federal judge forced them to change their name based on another oil change shop. So we'll get off into that a little bit. What else do we have on the docket here today? Cybercar, Tesla, Elon Musk. They filed for a trademark, a couple trademarks, Cybercar, Cyber vehicle, but their strategy is a little bit interesting. So we'll get off into that strategy on how Tesla, Elon Musk, how they kind of go about filing for trademark registrations, at least in this particular case. And then some IP. Fabolous, he talked about how Diddy, I won't say him and Diddy, but Diddy filed for a particular trademark when Fabolous was trying to protect the name. So we'll get off into that. And then we have the lawsuit of the week. What, the Little French Bakery, I think it is. And, to be honest with you, man, the lawsuit, it wasn't as, I don't know. It was a lot of learning lessons in that. And I wanted to kind of talk about that one really quickly because of the learning lessons. So that's what we have today. And please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. Do I want to say something else before we get started? I will plug the ebook. It's been a long time before I kind of was able to plug the ebook. Got IP. Again, it's telling you all the way from how you come up with an idea for your product all the way to monetizing that product. And I just closed on a business where, again, it's a cool business. I actually got a product in there, but I'm going to be selling them things. It's going to give me a couple weeks, man. I'm the owner. She's shipping me the inventory, and then we're going to really kind of get off into it in terms of shipping, selling a product. So be on the lookout for that product that's coming. And all of the principles that I am, that I've kind of came up with in the book, I'm using it in real life too. With this particular product that I just closed on a business for, as well as some other products that I have in the work. So, and go grab that. And then the shirt, I haven't got Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. I know I got a different shirt on, got Intellectual Property, but go check out the shirts, man. Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. Those, I don't know, man. It's been a while since the last time I plugged the shirt. So let's do that. And without further ado, Impeccable. Now, I did the Shark Tank reaction video. It was like a month or so they was on Shark Tank. I was able to catch up with the co-founder on, which I'm going to pull up here in a second to play a clip from this interview, Melina. And, man, she started her career at University of Southern Cal, USC, and she ultimately dropped out. I think she dropped out of USC to start this business. And I think, the product, she dropped 120 pounds by using the product. So it seemed like the product is effective. But she was talking about how prior to her going on Shark Tank, they were only doing like $40,000 a year in sales with the chicken. And then after Shark Tank, now they're doing like $400,000 in sales. You're talking about what is that, like a 10x is 80,000 or 400,000? Yeah, essentially 10x to business, them going on Shark Tank. So shouts out to Melina. Man, she was a cool person. So let me kind of, without further ado, pull up her interview, and then let's kind of get off into it here really quickly. And then I kind of give you guys some further thoughts here. I almost didn't make it, man. Your boy was eating some food, pretty good food, but let's get off into this interview. Let's go. What was the importance, or how important was intellectual property to your business? I would imagine that you have a trademark on Impeccable. So how important, can you talk a little bit about the importance of intellectual property to your business?
Yeah, I think it is the most important part for a business, especially for IP in any industry, in any sectors. I think not just the trademark or like copyright, also like invention assignments. When we like hire employees, hire workers, we always have them sign that. So we always own the work in the end.
One of the things that she did talk about that I want to highlight is the fact that, she's a business owner. So she's talking about, hey, she has employees, and part of that employment agreement is a standing IP clause, which, hey, any IP that you come up with while working here as it relates to kind of your duties is owned by us, Impeccable Chicken, as a company, as opposed to you. So, man, she's doing a good job. So shouts out to Melina on that. I do want to, before I get off into the BS here, I want to play what Fabolous was saying about Diddy. And I kind of titled this one Intellectual Property. Let's see if I can pull it up here. He was on Carmelo Anthony's podcast recently. Fabolous was. I guess I wanted to do the Shark Tank thing, but we'll go back to the Shark Tank thing here in a little bit. At the I guess track down. Your boy Fabolous was on and where's this thing at? Now I gotta kind of look for it, which is that's gonna piss me off. Because there's only a couple things. See if I can find this thing, man. Let's see if I can find it. Is this it right here? That's not even it. Man, what is this right here? I'm telling you, man, this technology stuff. Oh, here we go. It's on Facebook. That's what it is. It's on Facebook. Okay, here we go. Technology, man. I tell you about it. Intellectual property. Let's see what Fabolous is talking about. Fabolous. Let's go.
Yeah, with the coconut Ciroc and the pineapple, just the drink itself. And I was like, you know what? This shit is. I started seeing it like getting put on menus and stuff like that. I'm like, oh. So we went to do it, and then it's like, oh, this trademark has already been claimed. I'm like, what? I was fresh off of this shit. This shit was like a week or two, and I'm like, what? I'm like, who could have snatched up the? They said, I don't know. The lawyer was like, I don't know. Said somebody, Sean Combs. I'm like, oh.
That's correct.
Coco Loso. When like we had this whole little thing with the coconut Ciroc and the pineapple, just the drink itself, and I was like, you know what? This shit is. I started seeing it like getting put on menus and stuff like that. I'm like, oh. So we went to do it, and then it's like, oh, this trademark has already been claimed. I'm like, what? I was fresh off of this shit. This shit was like a week or two, and I'm like, what? I'm like, who could have snatched up the? They said, I don't know. The lawyer was like, I don't know. Said somebody, Sean Combs. I'm like, oh.
So man, shouts out to P. Diddy. Shouts out to Fabolous. So pretty much, just kind of break that down here really quickly. Fabolous was looking to trademark Coco Loso. I'm not sure how Coco Loso came about and Fab's kind of, what he was doing, but when he went to his trademark attorney to trademark this stuff, it looked like the trademark attorney said one Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, has already trademarked the term Coco Loso, which again, man, there's a couple learning lessons in this for me. Number one, you need to trademark this stuff as sooner rather than later. If you think you're just gonna sit on the sidelines and okay, I'll get to it later on, which again, we'll talk about this in the law, some of the other cases later down the line. Somebody's eventually going to file for a trademark either on that exact name or something that's similar that's going to prevent you from getting a trademark on it. So again, it seemed like Fabolous, he found out the hard way. And again, for all the stuff that Diddy is going through, I think interestingly about that particular case, Diddy, it looked like they got somebody submitted an IP, essentially an appeal for Diddy getting Coco Loso. I was looking up. I'm not going to bore you guys with the detail. And they were able to kind of force him to abandon that particular trademark. So, man, this trademark stuff is extremely important. It was one of the things I was going to say about this issue. And all the things, we already know Diddy kind of has his fair share of issues going on these days, and he's kind of selling real estate to kind of pay his legal bills or whatever to get money. But it's one thing that Diddy is not selling. Diddy is not selling that intellectual property. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I was looking at the test database, which is where all the trademarks are housed. And look at all these trademarks that Diddy has. Look, he in jail, but he still got, he still owns Sean John. I'm assuming that SLC Fashion is his company. I don't know what his middle name is, but I know Sean Combs. He has Sean John, the number of Sean John in a number of different categories. He has P. Diddy trademarked. He has Puff Daddy trademarked. Puff Daddy and the family is trademarked. And so again, man, and that's just kind of what I can see from me typing in Sean Combs being an owner. So, hey, the boy P. Diddy, he get into it with the trademarks, and that's one thing that he is not selling. I know, like I said, he's selling some homes and whatever the case may be, but with his trademark, he is still holding strong to that. So, man, shouts out to Fabolous. Shouts out to your boy P. Diddy on protecting this intellectual property. As we move on to, I actually want to get to the Shark Tank thing of the week. Somnia Plus. And there was a couple different Shark Tank pitches, I think, this past week. 3 out of the 4 got deals, but it was another one on, it was called Blade Box or whatever the case may be, where it was essentially a blade that helps you cut your boxes. You know, a lot of times we get in these UPS or FedEx boxes, and this helps you kind of cut those. But I thought that this pitch was amazing. I think the product is amazing. And somebody who, look at, I'm a double smart. You see the jersey in the background. You see the degrees. I went to undergrad at Michigan State University. I went to law school at Michigan State University. I did stay in the dorm my first year. I can tell you what, man, like most other, freshmen in college, that twin bed wasn't getting it done for a number of reasons, if you kind of get what I'm picking up. So these, this couple, which is another cool thing, a lot of these Shark Tank pitches this past week were couples and kind of family pitching to the Sharks, which I love when you have a business that's essentially kind of family founded, so to speak. But Somnia Plus, it was a couple. You see the couple at the left hand, at the picture down there at the left. Let me kind of pull up their Instagram and kind of go through what they created. So Somnia Plus, they got a deal on Shark Tank with I think 1 or 2 of the Sharks, and it is essentially it's a system that expands your dorm room bed. And I would have loved to get this. Now it's a little bit expensive, but I would have loved to have something like this back when I was in college at Michigan State University to kind of, expand my bed, make it a little bigger for a number of reasons. But let's kind of check out what do they have going on. Let me see here. The number 1 college must have. Let's see what they're talking about. Easy. You got a full-size bed now. Would you get that? Turn on the music. Take the college twin size bed off. Let's go through this step by step. You take the college twin bed mattress off. You unroll. It looks like their kind of platforms, their cross beams. You hook up the Velcro to the cross beams to their bed frame so that it doesn't come off. That's what she's doing now. She has some foam pads, these 2 foam pads, or I guess she puts the twin size bed back on, the mattress back on there. Then you have the foam pads that she's putting next to it. She has a mattress pad, a fitted sheet, and that's it. If you got a headboard and some pillows for you. What they say, order for my baseball scholarship grandson for college. That's solid. Why wasn't this a thing when I was in college? Hey, P.S. I love me too. I'm asking that same question. I would have loved to get this thing. Love this. Does it become full size? That looks like what it is, a full size mattress. Make me wish I was in college. Let's go to another video. Let's see what else they got here. Looked like they were on some morning show. Let's go to this one.
Back again. Once he go black, he'll be back again. Tell him that it's crunch time. Yes, I caught National and Magivin. She did it again. Imagine them. About to these mad again.
Solid, man. You can even have it for the house. To be honest with you, I think this thing expands beyond the what's name. We can even go to the house.
Hey Sharks, I'm Brennan.
And I'm Sloan.
And today we're here seeking $100,000 in exchange for 5% of our business, Somnia Plus.
Every year, millions of college students are forced to sleep in small, uncomfortable, and outdated Twin XL beds.
Well, not anymore.
We created the Dorm Bed Expander Kit that comes with everything you need to expand the width of your Twin XL by 25%.
And that's a big upgrade, especially considering dorm beds are just 8 inches wider than a baby crib.
Just check out how easy it is to install.
First, you roll out the bed expander platform and secure it with the 10 Velcro straps.
Then add the 2 foam mattress blocks and strap on the memory foam mattress topper.
Finally, add the fitted waterproof mattress protector and custom size sheet set.
Once your kit's installed, just add your decor and you're ready to go. What makes Somnia Plus so amazing is its tool-free, quick installation process that expands your bed in minutes.
We're talking no power tools, no permanent changes, and no hassle.
With over 8 million dorm beds in the US, there's a massive opportunity here, and we'd love to tackle it with a shark in our corner.
Man, shouts out to them, man. Look, I'll tell you what, I love this product. You see it on the left-hand side. It essentially, it looks like it extends your twin bed to more of a full-size bed. As a 19-year-old, sometimes 20-year-old college student, number one, hey, man, that extra 25%, you need that extension. But then number two, I love it because the customer base is always revolving. There's going to be a new set of freshmen in the dorms. Look, you know, a lot of people don't like the education system, but before the education system goes bad, we're going to have a lot more other issues here in the U.S. So talking about getting into something where you have a forever customer base, so to speak, man, shouts out to them with Somnia Plus. Go check out the product. I like that pitch out of all the 4 pitches that were on Shark Tank this past week. And they did get a deal, man. So shouts out to them as we kind of move on to the next thing. Your boy Elon Musk is Cybercar. Let me kind of pull up the website here really quickly. It seems like, what did they say? Tesla panics and files Cybercar and cyber vehicle trademark moments after Musk says them. And I can tell you what, man, for somebody who has a company of Musk's size in terms of Tesla, I think it's worth, you know, a couple $100 billion at the very least. Their trademark strategy is a little interesting. Typically, the way this works, you can file 2 different trademark applications. You can file an intent to use application, or you can file an actual use application. Now, an intent to use application is saying, hey, I'm intending to use my trademark later down the line. An actual use application is saying, hey, I'm actually using my trademark now. So for somebody like Elon Musk to get on a call, an earnings report call with his shareholders or whatever the case may be, and say, okay, we're looking to come out with the Cybercar or the cyber vehicle, and you don't already have those trademark applications filed, that's crazy. And that's typically, it doesn't work like that. Typically, way before you come out with a product or even announce it to the public, you're going to file some trademark applications with the USPTO just so people know, or so you're protecting yourself on the front end. So for him to kind of say these terms, it's telling me, number one, he wasn't supposed to say these terms and he did it anyway. Or number two, somebody dropped the ball in their IP department, their legal department, in my opinion. So, shouts out to, it seems like they at least got them trademarked, or at least filed for trademark applications. However, they kind of did it, a little bit unorthodox, let's just say, between, again, Elon Musk filing for a trademark for Cybercar as well as cyber vehicle after he announced it, which, like I said, it doesn't happen like that. Typically, again, let me know in the comments if you kind of picking up what I'm putting down. Typically, when you file for a trademark or you're coming out with a product, you're going to file for that trademark before you actually announce the product or the name, at least to the public. For Elon Musk to get on a call and announce what they're coming out with the Cybercar and the cyber vehicle, then his attorneys are scrambling to file for trademark applications after the call. That's unorthodox. And like I said, I think that's crazy that a company that of that size is kind of handling it in that way. I think a couple years ago, Elon Musk tried to do that with another name, and turns out they said the call to the public. I mean, they said the name to the public, and they didn't file the trademark until 2 months later down the line. However, when somebody got heard of that, a beverage company, they filed for the trademark already and prevented Elon Musk from getting the trademark. So again, ultimately, what I'm trying to say with this stuff is, and again, it's going to be talked about here in a little bit, next 2 segments, the last 2 segments, I should say, if you got a business, if you're selling widgets, you may be selling water bottles, you may be selling Carmex, you may be selling wipes, maybe the next dude wipes, chick wipes or whatever. Make sure you are filing for a trademark before you come out or you announce the name to the public. It's crazy that Elon Musk is moving like this, but that's kind of my 2 cents. Again, shouts out to Elon Musk. They at least got the trademark application filed for the Cybercar and the cyber vehicle, but the fact that they did it later is it's interesting. It's interesting. I like I said, I wouldn't advise to do that. But as we move on here, Big Peach. And when I came across this article, and a lot of times, man, this stuff gets sent to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll talk about this. It's learning lessons for everybody. I'm trying to teach y'all. I am trying to teach y'all, keep y'all from making these same mistakes that some of these companies, big and small, are making. So I got sent this, and it was as soon as I saw the name Big Peach, I'm like, this got to be in Georgia. Clearly, Georgia is the peach state, and I was right. This was in a city in Georgia, and this was essentially a car wash that was Big Peach. You see the name here as well. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. You see the name Big Peach Express Oil Change. The only issue is it's another company that has, not only do they have the term Express Oil Change trademark, they had that thing trademarked for like 50, 60 years. And they sued Big Peach Car Wash for trademark infringement, and a federal judge out in that Georgia area forced Big Peach Car Wash to change their name. So again, I did talk about this in a full video. Go check out that. I think that just dropped here about an hour or so ago. So I did talk about that at greater lengths, but I did want to kind of just hit on it during a live session. But Big Peach Express Oil Change, again, Big Peach, that's not necessarily the issue, but Express Oil Change, that term is already, or the phrase is already taken in the trademark. I forget where the company was, the Express Oil Change that took that, but I'm in Michigan and I saw Express Oil Change before. So which is interesting about this is you would never be able to trademark a term as descriptive as Express Oil Change today. But again, apparently Express Oil Change got that thing trademarked a long time ago, and they were able to force Big Peach Express Oil Change to change the name, or at least drop Express Oil Change from their name of their car wash. So man, shouts out to Express Oil Change, and unfortunate for Big Peach. I think Big Peach also, what they say, look like they weren't paying their rent. You see here, Big Peach, they in Macon, Georgia, they got two locations. Two locations of the Big Peach Car Wash was closed after the property's landlord claimed that the owners did not pay $300,000 in rent. So it seems like two of the locations, seems like it's a franchise out in Georgia. They closed two locations because they didn't pay their rent. I'm not sure how you get $300,000 behind in rent, but I guess it is what it is. I've seen worse, especially as a landlord. And we're going to get to the last thing that I want to talk about today, Little French Bakery. And this is out in California, California Bakery. And man, I guess, to be honest with you, I did not want to talk about this lawsuit. The other lawsuits that were kind of came out this past week, they were underwhelming to say the least. But I did think it was a couple learning lessons that I wanted to talk about with this one. So I thought it was worth kind of talking about. So this is going to be the last thing we get off into the day. Hey, to the extent that you guys have a question, man, let me know in the chat. This is probably your boy billing rate that went up again. So it's almost $400 an hour. This is probably going to be the only time that you are able to ask a question to an intellectual property attorney who billing rate is almost $400 an hour. I got like 10 plus years in the game dealing with trademarks, patents, copyrights, trade secrets. People hit me up all the time on social media, the law firm address. They hit me up all the time trying to ask me questions or trying to get help. So to the extent that you have a question, please hit it. Let me know in the comment section, or in the chat, I should say. This is probably going to be the only time that you are going to be able to talk to an IP attorney or ask them a question for free, at least this week. So no, definitely let me know, and just let me know where you're from, and hit that subscribe button, hit that hit the like button, but let me know where you're from in a chat as I kind of pull up this lawsuit to kind of go through. This is the last thing that I'm gonna talk about today, and then we're gonna get you guys up out of here. So look here, this is, close this, man. There we go. Let me blow it up a little bit. There we go. So this is the Little French Bakery. They're suing the Little Cake LLC, two California companies. But one of the things that I noticed immediately was, what was the complaint for? I don't see a federal trademark infringement. When your first complaint is for false designation, like, okay, that's normally like the second or the third complaints. But then it looks like they still haven't even filed a trademark with the federal government. So let me tell you, what you said, you got California statutory trademark infringement. You have trademark infringement and unfair competition, which is a common law claim. And then you got unfair competition. So let me tell you guys what is happening in this. The Little French Bakery, and I've said this before, but you can file a trademark at the state level, or you can file it or you can file it at the federal level. So it seems like they filed their trademark, the Little French Bakery, at the state, in the state of California. And I always recommend to my clients to file your trademark at the federal level, because number one, is going to go through an examination process. And to the extent that you sue somebody, you're most likely going to sue them at the federal level. I know an attorney who tried in Michigan. They handle a state trademark case where somebody wanted to sue somebody else for trademark infringement at the state level, and the state courts are not equipped to handle trademark infringement cases. They are just not. They don't have the know-how. It doesn't go through an examination process. It's rigor as the USPTO at the federal level. So to the extent that you're looking to file for a trademark protection, make sure you file it at the federal level. You can file it at the state level if you want to, but at least make sure you get it at the federal level as well. This particular company, the Little French Bakery, they only filed it at the federal level. I mean, they filed it at the state level in the state of California. So now, as I pull back up the lawsuit, when they sued the little cakes, you can see here, they got a California state statutory trademark, which again, that complaint, that second complaint, that's a state claim. That's not a federal claim. You can't file for trademark infringement. I mean, you can't sue somebody for trademark infringement. You can't file for trademark infringement at the state level and then sue them at the federal level. They're trying to wrap up this state trademark law claim, which you see here in the second complaint that I highlighted. Now, the false designation, that is a federal claim, but that second and that third, or the second is a state claim. So I wonder if the USPTO or the federal courts, if they're going to say, hey, man, this is a state claim. Then the trademark infringement, unfair competition is a common law claim. However, again, when you're trying to sue somebody for trade, and please listen to me. If you're trying to sue somebody for trademark infringement and you don't have a registered trademark at the federal level, and you don't register your trademark at all, it's going to be hard. Again, you can do it, but it's just going to be harder to prove, number one, that you got a trademark. And that's the thing. If you already got a trademark issued at the federal level, you sue somebody, they're going to say, okay, at least it's assumed that your trademark is valid and enforceable. Then you just got to convince the judges that it was trademark infringement. But when you don't have a trademark, you sue somebody for trademark infringement, number one, you got to prove to somebody that this is a distinct mark. So you essentially got to prove that this is a valid and enforceable trademark. And then you got to prove that the defendant committed trademark infringement. So it's just a lot more on the table to prove when you don't have a trademark. You're trying to sue somebody for trademark infringement. So I'll never do this in terms of, I wouldn't recommend you guys try to file a lawsuit for trademark infringement and don't have a trademark. And then I would never advise you guys to get a trademark at the state level and then try to sue in federal court. So that's kind of my thing. Let's kind of go through this here really quickly. I'm going to skip the BS. And again, Little French Bakery is a plaintiff in California. And then you got the Little Cakes is a company in California as well. Seems like they got some good reviews. For example, on January 24th, so this is a couple days ago, a Yelp Elite reviewer posted a detailed review of the plaintiff Reynaldo Beach location. Apparently, is pretty good. Shit, this is a long ass review. I'll tell you that. I wonder if they paid for this review. This is a pretty long review. Apparently, he's an elite reviewer, which I'm not sure what that means on Yelp, but they put it in a lawsuit. So plaintiff owes 2 California trademark registrations for his branding, including, again, California trademark registration, and then essentially a word mark as well as a logo. It's cool. Get the state trademark as well, but make sure you are filing in federal court. So use in commerce. What is this thing called? What's the name called? The Little French Bakery. The Little French Bakery promotes its goods and services. I don't really want to do this lawsuit. Defendant's adoption and use of confusing similar brand. I don't feel like going through this lawsuit. I'll tell you what, man, I've been having some croissants lately, and I've been kind of dealing with the croissants, especially them California croissants, man. Them joints pretty flaky. Seems like somebody had a chocolate marshmallow croissant. That croissant looks pretty good. So this is the Little Cakes. Again, like I said, the lawsuit is underwhelming in my opinion, so I'm not kind of really going to go through it. But I will say this helps them out. When you have actual consumer confusion, that's going to help you out. So let's see at least what this is about. Excuse me. Since defendants opened and began using the challenge branding, the plaintiff has experienced and documented actual consumer confusion. The best thing that you can get to say people that are actually, when you're trying to sue somebody for trademark infringement, is people actually telling you that they were confused, thinking that someone else was you. October 21st, or last year, a customer visited the Little French Bakery location, asked whether the plaintiff had opened another Little French Bakery in Commerce, California. So, again, that doesn't look good for the Little Cakes. December 24th, this is a telephone call. A caller asked whether the plaintiff was associated with or in the same business as the little bakery located in Commerce, California. And then earlier this year, last month, during a regular delivery, a driver from plaintiff longstanding distributor referenced another little bakery in Commerce and stated that the items overall setup appeared very similar. So again, that's going to be helpful to the little French bakery. And I want to hear from you guys. Do you think the little cakes and the little French bakery is confusingly similar? Clearly, they have the little in their names. Bakery, cakes, I don't know. Again, I think actual consumer confusion is helpful to the plaintiff in this case. I'm kind of up in the air on whether or not it's trademark infringement. I can make an argument on both sides. Like I said, the little French bakery and the little cakes. But actual confusion is good. So notice refused to rebrand on USPTO filing. On November 24th, plaintiff provided direct notice to defendants via social media that the use of the little cake is confusingly similar. They sent the cease and desist letter in December of 2025. And on January, the little cakes through counsel refused and indicated that they would continue using the challenge brand name. I don't necessarily disagree with him at this stage. Plaintiff is informed and believes in on the basis alleges that on December 22nd, the little cakes filed a federal trademark application seeking registration for bakery and services, further indicating defendants' intent to continue and expand their use. Look it, y'all should be doing this. This is the thing that I don't get. And again, they're talking about at least the little cakes. At least they filed their trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. The little French bakery, they filed their stuff with the state of California, and then they're complaining about how the little cakes is filing with the USPTO. They should have been filing their trademark application with the USPTO. So that's kind of like a weird argument, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a very weird argument. But nonetheless, post notice after receiving the notice of the plaintiff's rights and counsel, they began continued use on December 17th. So late last year, the little bakery or the little French bakery posted content promoting a croissant. Nice looking croissant. A little bit too much for me. I'm a regular croissant guy. The next day, they kind of did some other stuff. Christmas theme, I guess. At least they got pictures in this one. The little French bakery. Their menu items. A little bit expensive, but it's California, so it makes sense. Plaintiff's menu listing. Potato, bacon, and mushroom puff pastry. Seems like a mouthful. The mushroom bacon. While plaintiff does not claim exclusive rights in any recipe, I don't know why you put that in there. So after receiving the cease and desist letter, the little cakes did not take steps to mitigate confusion. Instead, the little cakes continue operating a Commerce Bakery under the infringing mark and continue promoting the location on social media. In a TikTok post made after the notice, the little cakes invited the public to come out and try to, man, this is like standard stuff. Seems like they got a nice little review. I'm not going to lie, I was extremely skeptical when a buddy of mine told me about this place. They're from France. They use French flour. You heard that one before. Well, it looked like a paid advertisement if a paid what's the name, if you ask me. Defendant's conduct has harm and threat is to continue harming the plaintiff. Okay. Man, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to kind of badger that point. I will say this, man, from talking about this particular lawsuit. Number one, if you want to get your state trademark, get your state trademark. They're probably going to rubber stamp it if I'm being honest with you. However, you need to make sure that you're getting a federal trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, because to the extent that you have to enforce your trademark, you're most likely not going to sue them at the state level. You're probably going to sue them at the federal level. Like I said, I should call them, but I'm not going to do it. I had someone that I know try to file a state claim or a trademark infringement case at the state level, and he said it was a shit show because the judges, they don't know what they're doing. And at the federal level, it's a lot more. They kind of know what they're doing because this is a run-of-the-mill thing. This happens essentially every day. So again, to the extent that you're going to file for a trademark, you want to file it at the state level, that's cool. Get your state trademark, baby. But make sure you file it at the United States Patent and Trademark level. And I think that's the big takeaway from this one. So yeah, Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And yeah, man, go check out the shirt, Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. Go check out the ebook, Got IP. I'll catch you guys on the next one. You guys take care. Peace.